Welcome to the Nerd Party.
I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Phillip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
And this is City Alpha 3.
Welcome to City Alpha 3, the Star Trek podcast here on the Nerd Party Network. I'm your host, Phillip Gilfus, joined as always by my two co-hosts, Daniel Prue and Darren Moser. Gentlemen, how's been your Star Trek August?
What's Trek August? Trek August? No, never mind.
I don't think it works.
I didn't say anything.
We just watched, my significant other and I just watched the Circle trilogy. Completed it from the beginning of season 2 of Deep Space Nine, and not only is it fantastic fiction, there plenty of real world parallels, real interesting stuff there. Bajor for the Bajorans and all that. So, a little
Make Bajor great again. Is that what they're trying to do?
A little Star Trek prescience, makes you think, but it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
So I'm writing it in the podcast log note. Daniel Prue has found a Bajoran story interesting. Okay.
Yeah, my sister-in-law started watching through TNG. Not that she hasn't seen some episodes, but never really fully watched it, and she's been enjoying it so far. She's a part of a local group of Star Trek fans that have been making a little web series, and she wants to kind of know a little more about Star Trek to help influence her acting and her characters. So I said, I'm so sorry for Code of Honor, but if you move past that and keep going, it does get better. And so I think, but she's been enjoying it. And I've also just about finished my mobile emitter that I've 3D printed.
I see it.
This one is destined for Aaron Harvey, so he'll have it. So the magnets have come in and the color's looking good. I just need to add a little bit to the circuitry, but yeah.
So if I slap it, does it fall off?
Only with a pad. You have to have a pad. Okay. Yeah. I actually saw someone who also sold it was like a milled piece of aluminum that looked like that kind of dish that it would rest on, that he would, go to grab it. And it was very expensive because it was actually aluminum. But I'm like, you don't need that. Just keep it on at all times. You're good.
Is that like his earbud charger for his?
It's got to be, right?
What else
you could put your phone on it and it automatically charges with wireless charging.
But it doesn't light up cool, so why bother? Well, I know everyone is anxious to hear I have finished. That's right, finished with a capital. Finished the animated series, and so end with a bang, or at least with a Robert April. And so yeah, so now I.
Now you're ready for Lower Decks.
Have to sit. Oh yeah. Lower Decks, when the time of recording, will premiere this week. But also, I think I will sit down and have that serious discussion with my wife about watching for her the first time Star Trek: The Motion Picture. So,
ooh, yes. So which version? That's the question.
Director's cut.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So.
Or really, just the trailer probably would work.
Didn't they just come out with a 4K, or is that still coming out later?
Well, I think it's still coming out in as much as my calendar for later in the month.
Okay.
They're re-releasing, for those who don't already know, re-releasing Star Trek 4 into theaters. It's only on a specific date, August 22nd, off the top of my head, which I'm going to go see. So I think that's part of the, they always promote, they're always trying to promote stuff, they release something. So that's, I think, part of the 1 through 4, or is it 2 through 4? Anyway, I think, whatever. It's the early TOS movies that are coming out in 4K. So
nice.
So, Phillip, not to hijack the show or anything, but can you give us, since you're fresh, just give us your overall impressions of the animated series, and maybe like a letter grade or stars or something. Like, what did you think? Was it okay? Was it worth watching? Because I've never actually seen the whole thing all the way through.
Sure. So I mean, it's this isn't a criticism. It's denser than Lower Decks. I mean, because there's stories. I mean, I'm not trying to criticize Lower Decks. I mean, Lower Decks is fun. I mean, and that's in a good way. Whereas TOS, they're writing TOS stories. There's just
Lower Decks is referential in a lot of its humor.
Yeah.
That's what makes it funny.
Yeah. So I think, the animation's going to look dated. I mean, not like, oh, it's ugly. It's just like, this is how they made cartoons in the 70s. So if that blows your mind. So, I don't know, I'd give it like a B.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to get interesting stories. I mean, some of them are silly, not in that they're stupid silly, but like, they're underwater, or they're turning into giants, or
they take advantage of the fact that it's animated and you can do things that you couldn't do on the budget of TOS.
Mm-hmm. Or they're becoming little people, or they're or they go backwards. See, you would love that episode, Daniel. This is the last episode, because everything goes into the backwards universe. And so the ship goes backwards across the screen.
I saw that.
It goes right to left.
I've seen that episode. Yeah.
Not left to right. Yeah.
I would just love all of and it was funny. I just saw Darren on video here pull up the Aaron Harvey co-written TAS guide, and in that episode feature that Aaron and his co-writer wrote, someone did ask, like, so how do they pee? What are you trying to say if they do everything backwards? But anyway, so
yeah. And not since Tenet have we had such a strange backwards type of story. I'm sure Nolan watched the counterclock incident before writing the script for Tenet. It's
because all the crew turns into babies, so it's Star Trek babies making the. So yeah.
But isn't Spock like slower to age because he's way older?
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's and again, just because I read the episode.
Like teen Spock with baby humans. It's really funny.
But it's the only person who doesn't change their voice. Like Leonard just does his straight voice, even though he's like teenage Spock. Everyone else is trying to do like, Mama, and he's like, yes, I'm a teenager.
Vulcan teenagers. That's how they are.
Yeah, I know. So, but anyway, it's cool. You get Captain Robert April, right? Original Enterprise captain. That's right. Cool. So, anyway.
Unfortunately, was very old, so he is not so old when things go back in time. So it all works out.
It's a good, So. But anyway, yeah, so I would check it out for those who are interested. It's only 20 minutes, so if you don't like it, it's over. If you do like it, there you go. So, but what we're going to be talking about today is in the spirit of New Trek. So we have Lower Decks coming out here, and then pretty soon Prodigy and Discovery. And one series that was going to be coming out in 2022, knock on wood, so they've promised, is the second season of Star Trek Picard. And we've gotten some teasers. But one thing certainly that we all, when we heard Star Trek Picard even started, was announced as a series, the second question or third question was like, so, when are we going to meet the TNG people? And, in the first season, we did get to meet Captain Reserve, William Riker, and then Deanna Troi. And we learned a little bit about their lives. She left Starfleet. I assume I don't know if they stated that explicitly, but seemed like that was the fact. He's still in reserve duty. He does his 1 week in a month starship duty and 1 week a year.
How does that work? I don't know.
I don't know. And so they had 2 kids. One died. One was obviously still living. And so a little bit of just what's going on with them. But that is the only main TNG crew member that we had heard from.
Try again.
I'm phrasing.
You're forgetting someone pretty important.
Who?
Somebody that kind of
Data.
The whole series is about.
Oh, Data. Well, I mean, Data. He was already dead.
But he was pretty heavily featured. Is all.
Well, we learned that he was dead. Yeah. That's what we learned.
I mean, I get what you're saying, though. It's like that's a cameo role versus a series role, which obviously Picard and
no, I get it, but like that, nothing changed. I mean, he was still dead.
He gets double dead, so that's
right.
Kind of important.
He's like New York. He's the character so nice we killed
the
him. The
taxi almost hits him, and he goes, "Well, double dead on you."
So fair enough. Appearances. We'll go with appearances. You're right, Dave. So appearances. Yeah. So we learned that Data is dead.
Oh, gosh.
So yeah. So, but we still have some unaccounted members. We have now LaForge. I know Darren and I would argue we've gotten references in the books, but not on screen, certainly, to LaForge. We know in the books that he's supposed to have been working on Utopia Planitia during the synthetic attack, but that he survived. But we haven't seen it on screen, so we have LaForge. And obviously we know he has free time because he's not hosting Jeopardy. Hello, cheap shots.
Too soon.
Too soon.
Hot
Savage.
Off the presses. Okay.
I know.
Never say City Alpha is not relevant.
And watch, he'll like get it next week. And it's all been a quick. We have, of course, Worf has not appeared. Trying to go with the main cast, Dr. Crusher, which has sort of been in some ways, you might say the biggest gap, but maybe you wouldn't. And then, we're going to theoretically get Guinan. I mean, not that she was main cast, but, she's in the promo pictures of the cast. And I think, okay, now I feel really embarrassed if I'm missing one, but that's sort of the main cast, right? Yeah, that's pretty much the main cast. We got Hugh. That's true. That's tertiary.
7 of 9.
Not in TNG, but I appreciate it. Yeah. So, but anyway. But I thought we would talk about how we would like, outside, like we know the teaser, something about Q and different realities, but putting that aside for the moment, what would kind of be our scenarios for how we would like to encounter the TNG crew, whether it's in season 2 or season 3, it doesn't matter. But in the early 25th century, how do we like, retired Admiral Picard to meet his former Enterprise crewmen and women?
All right. I'll start with, I want to see Ambassador Worf. I want to see silver-haired Worf, like straight out of All Good Things. And I want him to be an actual ambassador. Like, he's consulting the current president of the Federation, and he's leaning into that role after having, fought many good campaigns. But like, I don't want to see Worf, who's begrudging his current status and status in life. I want to see him actually be, hey, people listen to him here as the ambassador. People actually, it's gonna be great. And
every time he appears, someone says yes to whatever he says in this series.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ambassador. And
I believe we should. Yes, it's great.
And we could even slide in a little tiny nod where he learns that Picard is coming to visit him, and we just get a little under his breath of, I knew I should have invited him to the wedding. And no, we don't have to go that deep.
Now here's my question, Darren, because I feel like it could go either way, so I'll let you decide. Is he a Federation ambassador to
I was thinking that too,
Kronos, or is he the Klingon ambassador to the Federation?
Who's he I would say he's the Klingon ambassador to the Federation. So, okay. I want him sitting in Paris with the president and the Romulan and the Vulcan, all those other ambassadors, like the head ones. He's on Earth, which makes it more likely that we're going to see him. But I think, that's a good point. That's a good question of which side
of the paycheck.
I was just going to ask, who do you think he's more qualified for? What position do you think, because of his upbringing, it kind of complicates the question? But like, do you think he's better suited to be a Klingon ambassador or a human ambassador?
Think of it this way, though.
Human. You can only hear yourself, Daniel.
Well, now here's the question. I guess that kind of leads into who is Chancellor. Is it still Martok? Because if it's
a very politically appointed position.
Because if it's still Martok, I see Worf more as put him in the house of the Federation. Why not?
He'd be either dead from natural causes or someone would have killed him.
Klingons live a long time.
Why not make...
chancellors don't.
Why not make Worf the chancellor then?
It feels a little too high profile. Like,
he's still a member of the Klingon High Council, isn't he? Still has some influence, doesn't he?
He was acting chancellor for a good duration of time. So.
What? Like 30 seconds?
Guys, you mentioned that last week, and I didn't say this, but I love the fact that his chancellorship went from the point of the Batleth point hitting Gowron in the heart to the first person who said Worf, and then when he said Martok, his chancellorship ended.
Did you say there was like a president that was like that became president?
William Henry Harrison?
Yeah, and then died
in 30 days.
30 days later. Oh gosh.
No.
But so anyway, but that's my thought for Worf. But you could have another thought on that. I think. I get what you're saying, and yes, logically it makes more sense for him to be the Federation ambassador to Klingons because he's been growing up around. But I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that he has learned more about who Klingons are now in this era, and thus is a better representation to. So he's more fighting against people assuming they're the same old Klingons and more like this is the current era of the Empire and what it's like.
See, the problem is we don't know what the current era is and what Empire is.
Right, and he can establish that. But
I'm just saying, because we didn't get anything but there was no Klingons in season 1 of Picard.
Well, they were all in Discovery, so that's why we couldn't have them. So.
So we don't know,
Yeah.
If you do bring him in, of course, it's a great way to.
What's he going to look like?
There's
he's
the
purple.
president of the Klingon Empire. We've now a democracy.
A republic.
A republic. Oh God, that'd be so weird.
The Klingon Republic.
The
vote for you.
The People's Klingon Republic of Kronos.
The Lady of the Lake with her batleth and the
It's so
batleth and the sword.
Worf is so interesting to me because we've had this speculation about this Worf stuff for so long. Like, I don't even know what form I want to see Worf in. Of course I do. I'd love to see him. I don't know, like, the best way in my mind to kind of honor everything he did.
He's just on the Defiant, and he shows up in one episode because no, I'm just kidding.
Everything he did to honor everything he did in TNG, and like what's established there. And then, of course, now you have to add on the fact that everything that happened to him in Deep Space Nine. You've got to have some like balance there somehow, and because that's the last we see of him, and he has a pretty high ranking position at that point. I don't know where.
And then, do you allude to the? I don't know, what's the word for, like, not canon, but everyone agrees that that's one. Like, in other words, that he theoretically may have been the captain of the Enterprise?
Oh,
to that.
right. That's true. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. I didn't even think of that. But, and I came up with the proper naming. It's not Sword in the Stone, it's Batleth in the Boulder.
Oh, that's
nice.
good.
That's good. All right.
Like
That's episode title, so go ahead and mark that.
Oh, I already read it down.
He's doing the graphic as we speak.
But no, that's a good
With
point.
Merlin in the background.
I forgot about it. No, it's Kalis, the clone.
Yep.
And the monks
with a K.
With a K.
Clone.
The clone.
Yeah.
But no, I've forgotten about him being the captain of the Enterprise E. That totally makes sense. Like, he rolls up. He's got like. We could have Ro be there. We could have we could have all sorts of people be there.
Well, I was just thinking, if he's ambassador, he's a little gray in the tooth. I feel like his attaché as an ambassador, I mean, someone who knows him well, who kind of knows both worlds, would be maybe someone who's close to him. Like,
you say Alexander.
Maybe someone related to him.
I'm gonna cut off
don't
this.
do it.
Alexander, the attaché.
No. I mean, Alexander would be an interesting. Honestly, like, as much
You
as
could just play it by anybody, and all he has to drop is the line of "Yes, Father," and we're all like, "What?"
It's like, some 50-year-old actor.
Yeah,
well, that's the
50-year-old
thing.
actor.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, as much as I dislike the character, you could actually do some pretty interesting stuff with him now. He's probably closer to B'Elanna than Worf at this point. Like, in terms of his like the mixture of his Klingon heritage and his human heritage. But it's like, you could make him an actually compelling, interesting new character, essentially, because he was so young.
Reinvent it from scratch.
Yes, so it's like,
he's like, I hate my name, Father. You named me Alexander. It's like the Bob of Klingon names. Like, it doesn't sound Klingon at all.
I would love it if he was like a what do they call those stupid pig things?
A Targ.
Tellarite?
A Targ. I wish it was like a Targ wrangler or like breeder or something totally like mundane,
out of the realm.
Yeah, something that's not. He's not like big into politics or whatever's going on. He's like
he's a Targ farmer.
He's just a dude. Man. Like,
he runs the Klingon restaurant on Deep Space Nine.
There you go. That would be fun. Actually, that would be really fun.
But he's really bad at accordion. Like, really bad.
I don't. He has a hologram that does that, and you don't have to.
Yeah, there's like, okay. He ripped out that seldom used holographic stand in this box technology from the Defiant, and he has it installed in the corner, and then they have a hologram of the old owner who just stands there and plays and sings opera the entire time because they didn't want to change the name of the store.
Yeah.
So.
It's still a functioning franchise. He has like over this billion served. It's
that guy's the Dave Thomas of goth.
No, it says this many have survived this restaurant.
Crindies. I don't know.
Endies, whatever. Oh man.
Yeah. So yeah, because like you said, it'd be nice, and he could do it ambassador at large, whatever, just an ambassadorial diplomatic.
Do not put him on the planet of intergalactic peace, Philip. I will not stand for it. No,
really good.
No, we're not going back.
It'd be different. By now, it'd be different because I mean, for one thing, you think about it. I mean, that was a 23rd century thing, but the Romulans aren't even a power anymore. So then it's just the Klingons, and so maybe there's a third power that's joined the triad. So I don't know. Cardassians I don't know.
Cardassians are
Romulans
green.
aren't a power, even though they infiltrated all of the Federation.
That is true. They're pretty powerful in Picard season 1.
Just the secret one, not the actual Romulan people. They can't even save themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So okay, that's pretty good for Worf. Daniel, you got a pitch for any particular character that's?
I was. I mean, we'll touch on Crusher, I'm sure, but I was gonna just kind of segue from if we're gonna do child actors, I'd like to see Wesley involved in some way.
Yeah,
I don't know how you do
Ball
Wesley.
of Light.
It's gonna be tough. Like I get like maybe
it's a voice acting position. He's just a ball of light.
Maybe old Traveler died, and like he's just like maybe he's like a Doctor Who kind of character. Like he just goes around just having adventures. And
Does
stuff.
he have 3 fingers? Has he become part Ninja
That would
Turtle
actually be really
again?
funny. I don't know what you do with Wesley. I honestly again, it's another character. Like I'm not a writer. I don't know, man. But I'd still like to see him. I'd still like to have him interact with in some way.
Daniel, you're a podcaster. You can say anything you want. You don't have to be a writer.
Well, this is too much. This is too much, I know. But to fit it into the teaser, with Wes being this energy being, for lack of a better word, how would he fare against Q?
What are you saying? He's going to be like the little fairy over his shoulder, like Link, where he's just trying to help Picard.
I know what you're talking about.
Against Q.
He just circles around Picard.
Hey, Picard, over here.
Do. But anyway, yeah, I like it. Well, speaking of podcasts, of course, Will Wheaton does the after show. I don't know if he's still doing the after show. But yeah, it'd be interesting, I think, to integrate him. I mean, and obviously you can do it however you want. He just became corporeal again. He's just a regular West Crusher again. Thank you, deleted Nemesis scene. Or
yeah,
is his scene in his Nemesis is actually extra, right? It's not in the theatrical
movie.
release.
No,
Okay.
it's not. It was not actually in the released movie.
Okay.
They also don't
all
address how
all the
he's
great
a person
parts
again,
right? Yeah. No,
or how that works, or
it's very much. And I was there too. Okay.
Look, Starfleet now has the first light being. Yeah, it's a progressive organization. Well, what about, let's bring up the mom then, because I think that's, and I'm not some big Picard Crusher stan, but I mean, I feel like it's a big hole that Picard has obviously chosen to the series.
Let's look at season 7 of TNG. I mean, if you had just watched that, it would be very surprised where they've actually taken it in Picard, or not taken it, as the case may be.
Yeah, and even just like, I mean, it almost implies either that something happened, like relationship-wise. Maybe they divorced, I don't know. Like, in other words, all these big things that Picard's doing that he wouldn't at least like, hey, Bev, by the way, I'm leaving the planet, just FYI. Because he called in the Stargazer doctor to check him out, not Beverly.
That's true.
That's true.
I would like if they kept the divorce.
Maybe she's not on Earth.
She kept the name. She's still Captain Picard.
If they kept the divorce as canon, that I think I'd be good with that. And then
that's fine.
And then they're not estranged, but she's just busy. Like she's head of medical, or
she's got her career, and he's got his not being a part of Starfleet anymore because of dumb reasons.
Yeah, she's head of Starfleet Medical Campus, Andromeda. Or
her ship has to have a big sphere on it because reasons. And
so we just haven't seen her because she's away or somewhere else, and then she comes in and she's just crushing it as Dr. Crusher. And
what would she be? I mean, again, you can do anything, it's fiction, but none of these folks are young anymore, and obviously you can still be active in your 120s or 10s or 90s or whatever age she is at this point, 80s, so you could still be a doctor, but I mean she could also just be retired and enjoying life or something,
doing a book tour or something.
Ooh.
Writing that book.
He's doing all the medical textbooks.
finally going to update Dr. McCoy's anatomy book.
She writes. Oh God! Now I can't think of this stupid book. I was gonna make a stupid candle reference, but I can't remember the name of the terrible books that were all. That's okay. That's not important.
Oh, I thought she was going to write a medical ethics book about the time that Worf's spine broke, and she wasn't so sure about what she was going to do about that. Yeah,
you too can be a captain, and she.
With Q, what you could easily do is have Picard flashing to the future from All Good Things, so he could flash onto the bridge of the Pasteur, from that episode, but with those actual people being old instead of just old people makeup, and
yeah. So literally recreate the Ironic Syndrome scene, where with Geordi and Worf and Crusher, and they look literally put the same clothes on him, but they're all just actually older now.
I think that'd be so funny because I think, I don't know. I would say that you can agree or disagree. I think the actors look better than their old age makeup.
Definitely Wesley.
So,
Wesley looks way better than his old age makeup. So.
That was in makeup. That was a different person.
That's true. That's true.
And that guy was a little stockier, we'll say.
Bulky.
Yeah.
He was muscly as not. Wasn't.
That's when you realize Jack wasn't the father, because you're like, you look nothing like Jack Crusher.
Or Picard either.
That's true. It didn't help. That didn't help the question.
That guy had a full head of hair. So anyway. But yeah. So Beverly, I don't know. It would just be interesting to see, and obviously you always have to have a reason that you're encountering. With Will and Deanna, it was just a safe haven. So I don't know. I always hate for there to be a crisis.
A fair haven, as it were?
No.
No. Okay.
Not a fair haven.
But Darren, you didn't say this explicitly, but I could hear your thoughts. We obviously don't want necessarily these folks to have some negative, terrible, intervening years have crushed their lives.
Yeah.
They're just the dregs of,
it's interesting. I mean, I know you said at the beginning we're kind of ignoring Q's crazy time jumps, but it actually makes it a lot easier to bring a lot of these characters in, because you can literally just, snap it into, and what if you had married Beverly Crusher or stayed married, and then boom, it's a whole different thing. And she and him, oh man, that would have been interesting. In a world where he stays married to her, they actually succeed with the relocation of Romulus. None of the bad stuff happens from Picard season 1.
Just because he started to change the entire universe's history.
But
unhappy marriage or the universe goes to crap. You pick one.
Well, or I know we haven't gotten to Geordi yet, or we kind of talked about it a little bit. You could also with him have him be, wasn't it the Challenger or something? He was from Voyager.
Oh, that's true.
He was the captain of a Galaxy class ship or something like that. So you could do that.
He's not writing novels anymore.
I want to talk about, are we going to see Barclay? I mean, I know he's not one of the main, but he was fairly young.
What would you like for him to be doing?
That's a good point.
Again, and I'm not saying
maybe he's on Jupiter Station and he's taken over Dr. Zimmerman's work. Zimmerman is definitely past at this point.
Mm-hmm. Are you saying the new medical Dr. holograms look like Barclay? Maybe we don't even need to see Barclay. Maybe the holograms look like him.
I get the feeling that the medical holograms is a failed experiment at this point, and we're not really seeing them very much.
I don't know.
Until Rios.
They're great miners, so I'm not sure.
Well, Rios has 58
could these
holograms.
Be the miners? Miners, not miners, you idiot.
ER. I don't know if I'd want. I mean, I would welcome to see anybody, because seeing Hugh was great. Even if I don't like what they did with his character, seeing him was awesome. It was fun to kind of like I said, I didn't agree necessarily what they did with the character, but it was neat. It was neat to see him back in that character role. So I don't know what I would want to see from Barclay. I don't know. I would like him to be a little bit less like neurotic a little bit less, like a little bit more calm within himself.
You know what I would like to see
He's
for him?
finally in his own element.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, because goodness, that's not true for me. And I'm not saying anyone has to have a family, but like, it'd be nice if he just has like grandkids at this point or something, you know? He's just Grandpa Reg.
Grandpa Reg. Did I ever tell you about the time that I helped save the Voyager crew? Yes, Grandpa. We've all heard the story.
You mean his children, Tom?
Oh my
Kathy,
God!
And
It's so wrong, but so right.
we called the cat Neelix.
He named one of his kids Icheb, so he's a little salty about that. But
oh man,
his grandson, the Doctor, and that's just...
the Doctor. His name is TD. What does that stand for?
For like, him to contact Deanna. Well, of course, we know we're not going to get. I don't think we're going to get Troy back, but
he just calls and Riker answers, and Troy's not there at the moment. No, I'm kidding. That'd be dumb.
Well, Daniel, what's your? We kind of went over him real fast, but just to draw on a sec, what's your Geordi pitch?
Geordi's interesting because he is the character that's been seems like danced around in Picard. Like, he's been mentioned. He was literally, I think, almost canonically like in the show, except not shown on screen. So we know he was there at the attack and was running things or helping to run things or designing starships or whatever he was doing. It was some connection between 2009 Geordi and classic Geordi, and I don't know.
Oh, that's right, the jellyfish design.
Yeah, because he had done that. He was helping with the Romulan stuff, which is what that was, and then but of course we got no Spock references in Picard. So
yeah, with Geordi, and again, I'm not trying to repeat any character storylines that we've kind of seen, but I can almost see him, not necessarily in a negative way, being not a recluse, but like, because there's not many of the folks who fought the good fight for the Romulans, they all seem to kind of go underground, in kind of ways, because they're not sort of the dominant ideology, at least in season 1 Picard. Obviously, we just wrapped everything up and said everyone's perfect. But I can see where he kind of went, maybe hid away a little bit. Not necessarily like, I don't want society, but just like he found his own nook because the universe was passing him by, and he saw, he'd be a little, not PTSD, but he saw a lot with that Mars attack. I'm sure, that didn't put him in a happy place. So I can see maybe he found his own corner. Maybe he found his own corner of way to help, a different way to help, a smaller way to help. Maybe he's running a Romulan colony. He's running the power system or something,
Do you think Geordi would be fascinated by Picard's robot body?
It's like,
I could see him having
been friends
to work
with artificial life forms.
Yeah, we can see him doing a diagnose. Doing a.
Do you think there will be a scene
Picard maintenance
in season 2 where Picard has a thing in the back of his head and it's just a blinky light? And
I would love it.
No, I want Geordi to walk up to him, stare at his eyes for a couple seconds, and like recognize the blink algorithm, and he knows that he's an android.
You've seen Data. I don't know. Again,
and then Picard's just like, Geordi, how in the hell did you know that?
It's another thing where it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know what I want. I don't. And again, and now like that's Picard season 1, for better or worse, is a kind of a pretty self-contained story. We have no idea, at least, where season 2 is going to go. And now that like we've gotten
it seems to be going in a very different direction.
We've gotten Q teasers, we've gotten Prophets teasers. Like we don't have any idea where this is headed. So I'm like, it's really difficult to fit certain characters into those slots. But we do know that like we know LeVar has had talks with the producers, and I'm pretty sure he said that I don't think we're going to see him this season, but it sounds like we'll probably see him in season 3 or whatever. So, I don't know, man. I have no idea.
Well, and I don't obviously know the man. I'm sure he'd love to be on the screen, but I'm sure he's like, so the directing slots are open for...
That's true. I could see him directing. And, if you're going to have him direct, just stick him on a screen. It's easy enough. He's there.
Yeah. So I don't know. Do we want to talk Guinan? Or we have theoretically she's going to be in season 2, right? Theoretically, not. I haven't heard anything hard and fast other than the public offer that she got, last year. But one presumes, right?
I would like to know what the cat hands thing is about.
Yeah, like what is the beef between the Q and Guinan? Like that would be interesting to actually find that out finally.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be great to see her too. Obviously Guinan's.
Ooh, I just had a thought of what it could be. I mean, I don't think this is what it is, but what if the Q used to be way more interfering with other life forms, and basically right as they stopped interfering is when the Borg came and destroyed her people, and so she's kind of resentful that again, I'm sure they could think of a better conflict than this, but
careful, Darren. I don't know. These are the Picard writers, so I think
Spock shuttle. Okay. There it goes.
I think you're okay, but I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
I mean, where do you think life has sent her? Where she's not. I don't know. Like
not bartending somewhere.
I mean, she has to be around people unless she gets tragic future story. Because she's a social animal, so she'd have to be somewhere where there's lots of people, right?
Where? Yeah, where
can she be running Quark's bar?
That would be interesting. That's actually not a terrible.
I'm like, if we have the money, we could build a piece of the set, just like the bar.
They wouldn't do that. They'd just put her in front of a green screen if they were going to do it. Although,
no, that's what I'm saying. Like the background and like the replicators and the bar top and everything else is CG.
Yeah, but Deep Space Nine should and probably would be unrecognizable or pretty close to it at this point.
It's just a holographic station at this point. No, I don't know.
Well, is it at this angle or this angle? Yeah.
I don't know. When was the last? Q. The last time we saw Guinan was Generations, right?
Generations, yeah. Still in the Enterprise D.
So we have no idea where she went, even after that, and that was ages ago from Picard. So where would she be? That's a great question. I don't know, because she showed up on the Enterprise B, and that was... I don't know. Where would you put her? I have no idea.
Yeah, because, and again, we know the real reason, but you're like, well, did the Enterprise even have it before? And the answer is at least yes, because we at least saw that in Insurrection, with that beginning scene with the aliens, the prime, joining the Federation. Yeah. So we know maybe she was just off screen, right? We don't know. She could have been in the Enterprise for all we know. But but it'd be interesting because I don't know if she would have wanted to be around Federation/humans with their anti-Romulan attitude. She may have found another species to go hang around with.
Yeah, I have no idea. Just it's really tough to fit these people in without knowing what is season 2 even going to be. We just know he was going to tease Picard. That's all we know.
All right. Well, okay. Well, let's open up the net here. What about any of the wider characters? We've played with Ro a lot here on City Alpha 3. I don't know if we want to talk Ro.
Well, I don't think she's back in Starfleet. That seems unlikely.
I don't know. Yeah, you're not going to find a bigger Ro fan than me. Unless you have a really significant reason to bring her back. Like, I would think a more emotional for someone like Q. Why not bring Sito back? Like in a weird, if you're trying to like emotionally gut punch the audience or something like that, like bring somebody you're not expecting back, like somebody crazy out of left field. I don't know the Ro. I don't know.
Nick Locarno? Oh no.
But kind of like Hugh. Hugh was also kind of left field.
Yeah.
Like we weren't expecting that, and they did it well, I think.
And don't get me wrong, I'd love to see Ro again, but they would never really... they wouldn't go into like her background or why she was there or anything like that. She'd just show up and be a character for whatever reason. And again, she'd serve the plot, which we don't know anything about, so it's really...
I'd be surprised if she wasn't a member of the Ferris Rangers or Rescue Rangers.
Yeah, Rescue Rangers. I could see that. Yeah, for sure.
we don't really know anything about, which, I mean, I'm not saying I really want to know anything, but they've introduced the concept. Like, I don't know anything about the Ferris Rangers, if I'm even saying that term correctly. Sort of took over for Starfleet in the Romulan sector or whatever it was, trying to maintain order. And so what's the hierarchy? How's it, and as much as you got 7 now, so you're going to have that in the story, right? Of course, I guess, once you get rid of alternate universe, maybe you don't. But anyway,
yeah,
if we're going to maintain
I could see her being one of the team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not that we see her a bunch in the show, but just, she's running.
She's retired ranger.
She's running a
or reserve ranger.
Rescue Reserve Rangers.
Yep. 1 week in a month, and this happens to be the weekend. So,
well, sometimes some crimes they go slipping through the cracks.
Exactly. She wears the hat and likes cheese a lot.
See, I'd be fun. What I would really like is an O'Brien.
Role. Yeah, yes, O'Brien.
I think that'd be fun. I would love to, because I think he would be grumpy and retired, and he has no time for this
20 grandkids
for this nonsense. He's just whatever. Maybe he's still like him and Julian are just buds and they're hanging out all the time or whatever. But
I can see where he's like, no, I love my grandkids. I do, but like any excuse, I'll leave. Like you got a mission I'll help out with. Like
he's down in the basement. Right. He's down in the basement playing with his models. He does not want to be.
Don't touch them. Don't touch.
And then someone else is there, and he's like, "How did you get these down here? The doors." So he's like, "Transporters, just duh."
It's programmable matter at that point. I don't know.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Or what if we start bringing back like characters important to Picard as a person? Like, what if we brought Lieutenant Darren back or
Anij?
Anij would be great. What an awesome callback that would be. Like, what do you do if she's just out there like being herself and
she looks older? And he's like, "Why are you older?" She's like, "Oh, I left the Briar Patch for a month, and so I look like this."
Mm-hmm.
Then you have to explain the problem with that is you have to explain why the Fountain of Youth was not bottled and produced and given to all the people of the universe. But yeah, that's fine.
Well, again, because it's the standard Fountain of Youth conundrum where it works, but you can't leave. Like that's usually how
it's the
goes.
Hotel California Fountain of Youth.
The California class, yeah.
No, that's next week, Darren.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, because, I mean, obviously we want Picard to be its own thing, but,
Well, it's the closest one to TNG as far as having other characters show up, except for Lower Decks, which I guess, could be.
Yeah, and I think, well, I'm speaking only for myself, that the franchise, I mean, I say this in a criticism way, but obviously I'm a minority voice, so it doesn't matter. It's sort of, in my opinion, it's sort of stuck in this TOS love fest. And so we have Discovery, we have Strange New Worlds, we have, theoretically a Star Trek 4. Who knows? It's all TOS, which is fine. But like they haven't done anything TNG wise, which honestly I think is probably the better moneymaker or popularity. That's just my 5. And I'm not saying I really want them to, but I'm just saying.
Well, they did. It was called Nemesis, and then it bombed, and then they stopped.
Well, that was just the movies. I mean, even the TOS movies. I mean, Star Trek 5, we can go that route.
Well, I mean, what would you call Picard? Picard is
ish, right? Ish. But I mean, all the other ones have not, done the same actors, and so it's sort of in the spirit of the era, of capturing the era and that feel. And so... there's no TNG reboot. There's no... I'm not saying there should be, I'm not saying... But, what I'm trying to say. It's all in that universe. There's no 24th century series that they're pitching, which Lower Deck in a way. And I think maybe that's why we enjoy it, because it's sort of that feel of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I see what you're saying.
It's such an interesting, thought. The idea, what would you do? What would you and me, and probably all of us, what would we like to see that would be... do we want another TNG, Deep Space Nine, Voyager era show? Just a modern one? It literally takes place in that same era,
which is literally what Strange New Worlds is for TOS.
8 years before. Just like Discovery.
Okay, so 8 years before.
I'm
so
kidding.
like a Stargazer.
I'm kidding.
show.
That's a joke. That's a joke.
But really though, what would we want? I don't know. Like what? Like would there be like a? Oh God, I don't even know. Like another ship that we would want to be a part of. Like what adventure is like a Cardassian war show? Maybe I don't know. I don't know. What would we want to see?
Well, I mean, like we talked about in our cadet series, I mean, that was a pretty fun concept. And you could set it at almost any time.
Yeah, because I mean, like, and again, I will watch the shows and I will love and I will enjoy them. But like, you can say the same Strange New Worlds. Like, did we need to see the original Enterprise missions? Did we need to see Discovery, the prequel? That we, but whatever. But I mean, I'm surprised that they keep going to that TOS well.
I mean, I'm not surprised, but yeah. I mean, we talked about this a long time ago with Eric Berry, where we were comparing it to Power Rangers and how Power Rangers always dips to the Mighty Morphin well. Always, like, you'll get new stuff and other stuff, but it's like they can't help it, and it's the same thing. And I don't know if that'll eventually go away when you finally have enough of a viewing population that literally have never watched the original series. But it's so hard to get away from because that's the cultural thing. That's, Kirk, Spock, and McCoy and Enterprise. Like, it all came from there. So
I think we're 10 years at max away from a TNG reboot.
Yeah,
I think
that's
we're far from it.
Not a movie reboot, but like a show.
Well, it could. I don't know how they do it, but it could be a movie. It could be a show. I think it's gonna be 40 by then. It could, and it, like Phillip said, like in a lot of ways, TNG had as big or maybe bigger or small, however you want to quantify it, but like just as huge of a cultural impact as the original series did on a whole generation of people. So
I see what you did.
So I definitely would not be surprised if they said, "Oh, we're doing a TNG movie next. That's what we're doing next." And they're like, "Wait a minute, all those guys are like 1,000." And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's right. Tom Hardy as as Captain Picard." And they wouldn't do it. Even he's getting a little bit older now at this point. But I could see that. I could totally see that.
These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise.
You were born on the Enterprise.
I was merely molded by its reruns.
But all that's to say, you don't want to do fan service, but I think with Picard, because it's a serious show, you can flavor a little bit more with the TNG folks. And I know they plan to, and I know they hope to, and they certainly have a couple seasons. These folks aren't going to be, not to be ugly. Not like the TOS cast may pass away. I mean, the TNG cast are all here. But still, sooner than later, or else we just have to make them all animated on lower decks. So,
Phillip, before we close out, should we talk about Q though as well?
I mean, he's going to be there, obviously. Yeah, I mean, what do you have to say about what you?
Not only is he going to be
like
there,
Q?
He's old Q.
Yep.
So that does say something at least.
Are we wanting an opening moment where he shows up with like extreme CGI where it looks like young Q and he's like, "Oh, mon Capitan," and then he snaps and he ages? I'd be totally fine with that.
He just shows up naked and
No, nobody wants to see that, Phillip.
Again.
The mariachi band is with him, and
I would love that. Like, you just see Picard walking in his vineyard, and you just hear it in the distance, the mariachi music. He's like, "What the?"
Honestly, if that had been the trailer, I think we all would have died. That would have been perfect. Picard's just like pruning his vines, and you hear da, 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 da,
and his two Romulan compatriots just have cigars in their mouth for no reason,
and that's it.
Yep.
And we all know.
It's just worth noting, obviously, that I mean, who knows? Like, we know so little. It's like I'm trying to say, like, oh, Q is going to be a huge component in season 2. Actually, we don't know that. Maybe he'll be the inciting incident, and then that's it. Maybe he'll die in the first episode or something stupid like that. But he will be a part of it, and so we'll see him at some point. And I
think what little I've read, and this has been a few months, and this could change because they say something and they'll do whatever they want, which is fine. But it seemed that what I read was like he's not a major part of the season, and he doesn't show up right away. I thought I read that somewhere.
So is it kind of like Brent Spiner? The same thing. Like
he was literally in the first scene, but yes, good.
No, but I'm meaning more the fact that it's not like we see Data in every episode and he's showing up. Like the amount of times we see him.
Yeah, we saw.
I mean, Brent Spiner was in in the past 3 episodes, like the whole time. So
we saw him in the first episode, and then he was
as his relative.
I don't know. I just saying like Q starts off TNG and ends it in such a brilliant, awesome, amazing way. I really worry that. I just want them to respect that relationship. I really hope it goes over well. And I don't know what I would do if I had to push that relationship forward. So I hope they do well.
Yeah, the only thing, and it's not their fault, it's parallel operations. It's no one's fault, but just like it seems like 2022 is going to be the year of the multiverse. Because you have Marvel, which, and I suppose I'm just dumb. Like, I'd heard you heard the rumors about Spider-Man casting, and then you saw the Doctor Strange title, the
Multiverse of Madness.
Multiverse of Madness, yeah.
And then you see Loki, and you just realize, oh, that's the whole plan for phase, 4 or 5? Like, the whole phase of movies is going to be multiverse. Like, everything is multiverse. And they just set it up in Loki, and then that was the plan. And so now you're going to have season 2 Picard, the multiverse, or whatever it is,
I mean, they kind of set it up in Endgame. Kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's true.
They have been building.
Which was setting up Loki.
They laid the first brick. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, whatever. I'm down for it. It's cool. Like, I mean, in your example, Philip, Spider-Man, God, what is it called? The animated one. Spider-Man
something. Oh, Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse is like amazing and so is incredible. So
that's
if
true.
we get some more of that, like that'd be fine. And if we get into the Star Trek verse with Q, it's great.
into the Trek verse.
If they do something that creative and that exciting and that fun, yeah, I'm here for it for sure.
Yeah, and again, I know I'm doing the whole complain about something, but it's just that I think multiverse is cool, but to me, it's like the Mirror universe, which is just an alternate universe. To me, it's like you can do it too much, like a whole season and a half, or an entire character. So it's like it's fun, like when parallels, one episode, okay, but like the whole season, it's like okay, guys. I mean, because it's kind of like nothing matters really. I mean, in this case, anyway. But anyway. Oh, well, I'll always like to start on a negative note. Okay, so Daniel, if folks want to talk to you about really how many episodes Alexander should be in, where can they reach you?
They can find me on Twitter. They can find me on Twitter at one of Dan. That's the number one, not the word, as in one is the absolute maximum number of episodes Alexander has left before he's completely shunned. So there you go.
And Darren, if folks want to listen to their favorite musical numbers from the Bat'leth and the Boulder, where can they reach you?
They can find me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram under username Dr. Sci-Fi, DrSciFi.
And if folks want to reach me about the new movie Star Trek TNG 2023, which is just going to be the reboot of TNG, they can find me at NC Public Servant. All right. Well, until next week, I'm Philip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
And I'm Darren Moser.
Stranded here on Lower Decks, Lower Decks, Lower Decks, City Alpha 3.